Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you, Phil, for accepting our invitation to come and give some introduction about the mentorship program that we have in our club. Before we start, I would like to ask you to refer to the handouts that is in front of you. It's a 4 pages handout that we have prepared for this educational workshop that we are having in our club. And we are taking this interview and we are hoping with uploading that to our website, it could be a good educational resource for our new members to know about the mentorship program that we offer in our club. It's our USP, unique selling proposition. Before we start, I would like to acknowledge the territory of West Sanish people that we are living, loving, and playing on their territory. And thank you everyone for coming today. Phil, would you mind to introduce yourself? We know that you're a seasoned member, you are DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster, how long you've been with Toastmaster, and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I came to Communicators Toastmasters in 1987. So next year will be 30 years in this club. And I haven't ventured into any other clubs. I haven't looked at any other clubs other than my role as area governor. That's when I was going to different clubs. But this one seems to be the right fit for me. And I've attained my DTM, as you said, about 10 years ago. And still enjoy belonging to this program.
For those of us that we don't have information about what is DTM, would you please explain a little bit about DTM designation?
I guess it's the highest honor that you can get in Toastmasters. And there's a series of programs that you have to go through to get a DTM. You have to do numerous speeches, and you have to mentor clubs, you have to mentor other people, you have to do other assignments. It's quite a long and involved process. At the beginning, when I first joined Toastmasters, it was really difficult to get. And I had no goals whatsoever in attaining that. But then they changed the program to make it a little bit easier, a little bit more attainable, and that's when I focused on my goal at that point in time to become a DTM.
These days, it's much easier. I've seen some people that they attain DTM in 2 years. But I've heard that back in the day that you earned it, it was about 7 or 8 years to get a DTM designation.
If you really want to push it, I guess you can do it in that length of time, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Phil, imagine that someone is gallivanting around, having no idea about the mentorship program. How would you introduce the mentorship program and the components, the elements of this program?
Well, when I first started, there was no mentorship program in this club whatsoever. I mean, I arrived and I was greeted by a few people that I knew, and I sort of made my way. And that happened for many years. And then we developed a program. It was on and off, didn't have a lot of background to it, didn't have a lot of glue. So about 4 years ago, I got together with the then Education Vice President, and we decided to put some programs together that would make it a little bit more organized. So I've taken it upon myself to run the mentorship program and make sure that any new person that comes to our club is assigned a mentor, and make sure that the mentor and the mentee are a good fit and that they're working together.
When you're saying a good fit, how, because I know that it's very important, some people, they get along very well. What are the criteria that you consider for matching two people as mentor and mentee to work together?
You know, I don't think there's a lot of criteria. I think it's more or less the attitude of the mentor and the mentee, and they make it a good fit themselves. Sometimes I look and I go, well, I'm not sure if these two people are right, but you know what? they make it work, and it's acceptable for both of them. I think the attitude that people have towards being a mentor is the first attribute. Do I want to do this? Am I excited about doing this? And will I work with this person? Because if they're not, then we'll move aside. And there are some people in the club that just do not want to be a mentor, and that is fine by me. You know, we have a lot to go around. Yeah.
Okay. In the mentor-mentee relationship, like any other relationship that we have, there are some expectations from both sides. What are the expectations that you think are the most important ones from mentor to have that from the mentee?
What are the expectations of the mentor?
From mentee.
Well, I think the first expectation is that they do want this to happen, and that they are willing to learn from each other, and that they have the time to spend with each other as well. I have personally mentored 2 or 3 people, and one, it was difficult to get together, and it was a lot of phone calls. So it wasn't a one-on-one relationship, but you know, you make it work somehow, and that's the idea. But if you're going on holidays for 6 weeks or 7 weeks and you volunteer to be a mentor, probably not a good idea at that point in time. Because at the beginning is when that new person, the person that comes into Toastmasters, really needs someone to influence them and to teach them, you know, the ways.
So time is one of the expectations.
Time is an expectation, certainly, yeah.
You cannot be mentored when you are not there.
No.
Okay. What are the benefits of being a mentor for the mentor himself or herself?
I guess, you know, we talk about influence, and it's kind of fun to influence someone else. It's kind of fun to teach someone what you know. And I think that's a goal of all of us. And so when a person is a mentor and they are teaching someone else the Toastmaster roles and influence in their life, I think that makes them feel good at the end of the day. That all of a sudden now this person has been here a year, they're their mentor, and they can stand up and say that. And a lot of people like to do that. Like, oh, I'm a mentor. Especially when that person does a great speech, then they can take all the credit for it.
Yeah, I agree that it's a rewarding job to do, like labor of love. All teachers, that they influence people's lives. So of course there are some benefits for the mentee, and getting to know the program and having the feeling of being supported and not being alone on this journey. What do you think mentorship program brings for the club?
I think it gives us a bit more professionalism. When other people come to this club as a guest, they see us as a fun club, I think, but they also see us as a professional club. They see us all doing the roles that we're supposed to do. We all do them properly. And when we don't, that's the mentor's job to sort of say, you know, at the meeting you did this, and this is the way that we should probably do it the next time, or I like that, the way you did that, and let's improve on that at that point in time. So as a club, it makes us cohesive and holds us together. And we understand that every new person in this club, everybody that comes into here, every new speaker has someone to help them do that role. And it makes us feel more comfortable because we don't have to, as a club, take that energy on, because there's someone else personally doing it.
I agree that it improves the spirit of teamwork, that we work together and we grow together and we help each other, and so we are not alone. It's a good feeling. Phil, a good mentor has some qualities like being available, be patient. A good mentor is a positive person in nature, so always supports the mentee by positive feedback. Of course, a kind person and a good mentor is not pushy. That I want you to get these projects done by end of July or something. What is or what are the most important qualities of a mentor that you would suggest?
Well, I think you're right on the pushiness. I don't think our role as a mentor is to motivate that much. I think we can help the mentee achieve their own personal goals, but not push them towards something that they feel that they should desire as a mentor. I did it this way, so this is the way you should do it. I know it's a mentor is. I think the most important attribute is that they listen to the mentee's goals and reasons for being in Toastmasters. If the reason is to go through their first manual and take 6 years to do it, that's fine. And if their reason is to practice what they're speaking, practice doing what they're doing, become a DTM in 2 years, then I guess that's what they should be doing, or they should be looking at as well. If the mentee wants to be pushed, that's fine. They can say, well, look, I want you to motivate me. I want you to make sure that I'm on track. I want you to tell me where I'm wrong. Or if they feel, I'm just here sort of to learn and grow slowly, that's okay as well. So I think it's being a good listener, understanding the roles of I should say the goals of the mentee is the most important attribute. Yeah.
The reason I ask this question because that might be a coaching request that the mentee can have. Push me, nudge me. Or some mentees, they would like to have their privacy, their freedom of making decisions and growing into the program with their pace. And some mentees, as you said, they prefer to be pushed and just have a friendly reminder for getting the projects done. I remember my fear of having a mentor at the beginning of joining the club was having someone above my head saying that you have to do this, or you have to do this, you have to get this project done, or that must be the way that you do this project. But later on I understood that no, mentors are just there for support and for providing feedback whenever and wherever it's needed, and leaving us just to standing on our feet and learning as we grow. Okay. Is there anything else you would like to add, completing your...
I'd like to say that we, as well as teaching, I like to think that we influence our new person in other ways, such as, giving them a sense of belonging to this club, encouraging them to come out to our social events, which is very important, I think. We had 2 of our newest members out to our last social event, which I thought was great because we don't usually get a lot of new people at a picnic or a Toastmaster function. And I think there's a fear that as a new member, you got all these scary Toastmasters around us, right? And as a new member, we go into this little cliquey club at the end of the day. This is our club, but then now we've got this party. Well, I don't want to go to this party because I don't know anybody. But that's really the best way to get to know all your fellow communicators, is to go to these social events. And that's what I'd like to encourage as well. That's part of it. That's the whole Toastmaster process. Other than, and then I guess influencing them to sort of grow out of the nest and become a mentor themselves eventually. Because that's the most important part of our club, is that, these new people have now gone to a point where, and I'm not saying it's like 6 months or after 2 speeches or after 3 speeches. I don't think there's any rule as far as that's concerned. I think it's when that person is ready, and I've gone to the mentor and said, I'd like you to be my mentor still, but I think I'm ready to move on to do this role with someone else. I think I know the roles here well enough now. I've done a few of them, and so I'm ready to do that. And I think that's the important part as well, is that that person comes to me and says, I'm ready. Because then I can put them on the schedule as well and introduce them to someone else.
It's a great moment. I read somewhere that a father that doesn't raise a kid better than himself is not a good father. Can we say the same about mentor? A mentor that doesn't help a mentee to become a good mentor is not a good mentor.
What was the question again?
So when the kid becomes better than the parents, that's a good way of raising kids.
Okay, I agree with that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Phil.
Okay.
I think that we know, we have good knowledge about mentorship program. Is there any question from the floor that I missed in my questions that you would like to know? Kelly?
What does the DTM stand for?
Distinguished Toastmasters.
Is it possible to have two mentors for a mentee? Because if a mentor tends to be away quite a bit, can they say, well, someone else is going to help you while I'm away?
Mm-hmm.
Does that work?
I think they would want to come to me and suggest that. I've taken on this role as mentor, and I didn't realize it was going to be away this length of time, and so and so is taking over that role. As long as I know that, then I know what's going on. Because I like to, once in a while, I don't do this very often, but it is one of my goals is to sort of call the mentors from time to time and ask how they're going, how it's doing, how it's going. And even call the mentees and ask them how it's going as well. So I'm going to make that one of my goals in the future. Only one question allowed. Sorry.
Is there a benefit for the mentor as far as the competent leadership manual?
You answer that question.
Yes. Yes. One of the criteria in competent leadership manual is that you have to mentor someone, new or seasoned member at a club, for 3 projects, and that's one of the requirements of CL manual.
But I'd like to have a mentor want to be a mentor, not just because they get points for it from the book.
That's very important. Yep.
Is every new member assigned a mentee? No, every new member assigned a mentor, or is it optional? As you use the parental analogy, some children don't want to be parented, and others do. And I don't see mentoring as a parenting role, but a supporting role. So if a new member is assigned, first of all, is a new member assigned a mentor, and then at what point does that get reevaluated and changed if the mentee and mentor, if the mentee doesn't want mentorship?
I've had that before. There's people have told me, you know, I've had a mentor, thanks very much, but I'm ready to move on to my own. And now they are mentors themselves. Yeah, and you sort of get a sense of who needs the help and who doesn't. Yeah, and they come to you.
You talked about moving on and not needing a mentor. Do you have any timeline, like after the first 10 speeches, or after the first 5, or?
No, as I said, I don't think there's a timeline. I don't think there is a rule that says this. But I feel, you know, I ask the new member myself after they have done a couple of speeches, after I feel that I can see them taking on roles and they're very confident. And I will go to them and say, you know, I think it's kind of time for you to be a mentor yourself. Are you okay with that? And if they say, oh God, no, I'm not ready at all, then that's fine. Then we keep the relationship. But if they say, yeah, I'm okay with doing that, and most have said that, that's fine. Then we move them into a mentor role themselves. I don't think that you lose your mentor ever. I think you've always got a backup person no matter what you do. Even if you've been here 5 years, you know, you can always look to the person that that mentored you in the first place for any kind of guidance. It's not like, okay, now I've broken the string, see you later. But now you're moving on to a different role and a different mentee mentorship.
Back to the question that Jennifer asked, and I would like to make this clear on the video as well. Assigning a mentor is something that is being done automatically, or the people should come forward and ask for that, the new members?
No, I do it automatically.
Okay.
But I do ask the mentee if they're okay with that.
Okay.
That, you know, not too often have they said no.
Okay. Thanks. Any other questions? Very good. Thank you so much, Phil, for a great explanation that you provided regarding the mentorship program. There is a feedback form on the very last page of your handout. Please feel free to fill that out and submit if you would like. And thanks again.
Okay.
Thank you.